Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. I don't know what time zone you're in. This morning, over here, I want to take you through the routine of cooking for my dogs. I'm about to cook for my dogs morning, so I have lit the fire and I put my pot on the fire. Make sure it's properly balanced on the fire. Then I put a quantity of water that I would be needing. Water, there you go. Water, water, water. There you go. More water, there you go. And more water. Yeah, that should do it. Now just a bit more. Yeah, that should do it. So now that I have the quantity of water I want in the pot, I would apply the fish. This is fish. All right. So the fish adds to the protein while also providing an alluring aroma that my dogs will not be able to resist to encourage them to really, finish up their food. So I would cover the water in the pot and allow it some time to boil. I'll be talking you through the meal I'm preparing for them today, why I prefer to make that meal and the benefits of the meal shortly. So what you are seeing here is acha. That's what I want to cook for my dogs this morning. Acha. Acha is how we commonly call it here in Nigeria. It's also called fonio grain or hungry millet, or the fonio millet. Now, this is a very nutritious meal or grain that is consumed by humans and animals alike. I like to, cook it for my dogs. Now, why am I cooking acha? Acha is not the only thing I feed my dogs with. I like to alter their meal from time to time to keep them interested, but today they are having acha, fish and chicken. Now, acha is very nutritious. Why do I like to feed my dogs with acha? Acha has important amino acids, folic acid and iron as well. And folic acid and iron are very important nutrients for animals. I know they are for humans too. They are for animals also. Acha is also very easily digestible. So when the dogs consume acha, they easily digest it in their system and it does not cause them any, problems with digestion at all. It plays an important role in iron metabolism for my dogs. It keeps them away from being anemic at any given time. So it's very, very good for dogs. I recommend, if you keep dogs and if you can lay your hands on acha, it's a very good meal to serve your dogs. And because of the folic acid and the iron content in acha, it's also quite good for pregnant and lactating dogs. One of my dogs I just mated, I am hopeful that she's pregnant. So it's also the reason why I am doing a lot of acha in recent times, because it will help her. The folic acid and the iron contained in acha would be very good nutrition for her at this point where she's pregnant, and I'm expecting that in not too distant time from now, she probably would be leaching. I hope to show you wonderful puppies in not too distant time from now also. So like I said, this morning they are having acha, fish and chicken. You saw me apply the fish to the water. I've shown you the acha, and here you have the chicken. Yes, the chicken that I will be adding to their meal. This is also a very vital source of protein for them. You know, I like chicken with some bones in it so that the bones could add to calcium, and also dogs like to play with bones. You know, give them something to keep them busy instead of eating, you know, my doghouse or my cage. All right. So this is once again acha. You know, that part's called fonio grain. It's also called hungry millet or hungry rice. Very, very good for both humans and dogs. So it appears our water is boiling now. Great. All right, so we see water is boiling. Once again, our acha. So we turn it now into the boiling water. Yeah, like that. And then now you give it time to boil. I have my paddle at hand for stirring as it boils. Stir gently. One of the reasons why we stir is so that it doesn't start forming lumps, although acha hardly does that, and also to keep it from burning and getting stuck to the bottom of the pot. Acha hardly does that. You know, I told you earlier that I feed my dogs with a variety of meals. Acha, fish, and chicken is one of them. You know, that's what I'm cooking today. I'm sharing with you today. But I'm still going to show you a few other things I use. You know, here you have rice. I spoke to you about rice. Sometimes I cook rice for them. Rice, fish, and chicken also. You know, very nutritious rice. This is our local rice, you know, cultivated in this part of Nigeria, and it's very, very rich. Very, very rich. And very delicious also, you see. It's a mixture of both white and brown rice. You know, so sometimes I cook this for them. Maybe some other time when I am making the rice, fish, and chicken, I probably make another video also, you know. And sometimes I feed them with this, you know. This flour you're seeing is a mix of rice, corn, that's maize, roasted soybean, fish, groundnut. So it's also very, very rich, you know. I prepared this pudding in a similar way that I am making this acha also, you know. Hopefully one day when I'm making this, I might also do a video to show you how I prepare this pudding, you know. At other times I feed my dogs, especially when I am probably in a hurry and there's hardly time to start this cooking routine in the morning. I feed the dogs with the processed food, the processed pet food, dog food we get from Europe. You know, it comes from different countries in Europe and it's sold here in Nigeria. It's quite expensive though. It's quite expensive, especially. Okay, so it's time to check our food, our dog food, to see if it's cooked. But just before I open the pot, I was talking to you earlier about the processed foreign pet food to use. So this is one I use. This one is I think it's called Canine Creek. Not as though I'm running an advert for any company here, but I use this, and so sometimes when I'm quite busy, I have to leave the house early and I'm not able to take my time to cook. I give them this. Other times I'm around, but just to spice up their nutrition, I give them this also to keep them interested in what they're eating. So there's a timetable for them. Sometimes they eat the processed food, sometimes they eat acha, sometimes they eat rice, and then sometimes they eat the other pudding that's a mixture of rice, maize, roasted soybean, groundnuts, and fish with chicken. So there you have it. So we open up. I'm opening the pot now. Good. All right, we are almost there. See the steam from the cooking is blurring portions of this video. You understand? All right, so you see our acha is cooked. One of the reasons also why I enjoy acha is it's not difficult to cook at all. Within 25-30 minutes maximum, my food, the delicious dog food is ready. And it hardly also gets burnt. Is a food you can cook while doing other things. If you leave your acha boiling, like I covered the pot and left it boiling, you don't come back and meet it burning, stuck to the bottom of the pot. Acha has a way of just cooking without getting burnt. If I'm using the pudding, I have to stay around and keep stirring, because if I leave it for some minutes, it starts to burn under the pot. The acha does not do that at all. So you see, as it cooks, it thickens. As it cooks, it thickens. And by the time you serve it and it cools, it thickens even the more. So you see that the pudding is thicker now. Our pudding is ready. At this point, you could drop it from the fire and dispense it for the dogs. I'm still going to take you through dispensing and, feeding just a few of them. All right, so our food is ready and we're ready to serve. I clean the paddle and I'll be dispensing the delicious acha pudding into plates. The dogs, oh, yummy, 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 yummy. I tell you, the aroma is so appealing to the nostrils, even my own nostrils. Oh, there you go. Rich acha pudding. Acha thickens, so as it begins to cool, it's quite hot now. It's quite hot. As it cools down, it becomes thicker. Yeah. Some of the dogs know I'm dishing the food already. Hear them whimpering. They can't wait to eat. Don't worry. Your food will be served shortly. Yeah. The food will be served shortly. Apply a little water to the surface of the food so that as it cools, it doesn't form a hard crust on the surface. Yeah, there you go. All right, that does it. That does it. All right. Wait for washing. And now to the chicken. Um, I like to shred the chicken into their food. Experience has taught me when I drop large chunks of chicken into the food, if the dogs want to be mysterious, they just pick out the chicken from the food, eat it, and then play around with their food. They go for the meat first. But when I shred it into their meal, because it's in bits and pieces in their meal, in order to get to the chicken, they must have to go through the entire meal first. So when I do it that way, they can't select or separate the meat from the food. They just have to eat everything. You know, can you hear that? I don't know if you're hearing that. One of my dogs just calling out for food. She's quite impatient because she's much younger. Yeah, there you go. So you shred. When I shred, by the time I'm serving, I have it all mixed. And so doing, it's not easy for them to start trying to pick out meat from the food. You have to eat everything. You need to eat everything. It's all good for you. Yeah, so that's about it. This meal itself, I'm going to allow it some time to cool. Dogs don't like very hot food. So I'll give them the food quite lukewarm, and when it's cool enough, I'm going to stir and serve them. And hope you join me and see them have their breakfast. Let's see if they enjoy the meal. Thanks for staying and thanks for watching and going through all of this with me this morning here. Might be afternoon, night, evening, where you are watching from today. Thank you. I hope you find this video educating and entertaining. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, for varieties of videos that pertain. There you go. It's feeding time. So you see her enjoying her meal. Her name is Bethel. Bethel is a 2 year 6 months German Shepherd female. Beautiful dog. I told you, acha pudding is delicious. The dogs love this particular meal. Allow me to say probably a bit more than the grinded rice, maize, fried soybean, and groundnut pudding I showed you inside earlier. Can't take you around all the dogs feeding, so I think better we should do for today. Go on, girl. Enjoy yourself. You see what I told you about selecting the meat from the food? If I dropped it in chunks, that's the first thing should have done. Should have just picked it out. But because I shredded the meat, she's picking them and eating as she's going. And to get the meat, because some of them have sunk to the bottom of her food plate, she has to probably just go through the whole the meal. Yeah, so this is cooking routine for every day. Probably we don't cook the same thing every day, but this is about how it goes. Thank you for watching this video and for sharing this journey with me today. Please subscribe to the channel so that we grow together and we can get more wonderful videos. And I hope to keep bringing you very entertaining and educating content about dogs generally. How to tend and cater for your dogs, whether puppies or adults. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. From me, thank you. From Bethel, Bethel, say thank you. Say thank you. She's saying thank you too. Alright, have yourself a great day and see you again soon. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So all dog lovers out there, God bless you and keep up the good work. Our pets make our world a brighter and better place.